Atlanta News First Plus starts now with the First Alert Weather Day.
Hi, fam. Oh, it's going to be hot again today. Although I am looking at current temperatures, I'm not super impressed with where we're at. I still think we're going to hit the upper 90s, though. But did you read the headline? We're going to get a first taste of fall. Fall. In the beginning of August, which is usually the hottest time of the year. It's coming this weekend. Yesterday we hit 99. That was the hottest day of the year. Today the forecast high is 97, which will be the second hottest day of the year. Here are your high temperatures. Athens hit 102 yesterday. Yeah. Covington hit 98 yesterday. Atlanta, 99 yesterday. So we're going to be right there today, okay? It's going to be almost as hot through the afternoon hours. Here's the deal. After today, the heat's going to really break down. That's the good news. So you can see there's still that extreme heat risk up towards Lake Lanier, Jackson County, Banks County, down towards Athens. Really high heat risk through pretty much all of North Georgia that's under the heat advisory. The only area where you're going to catch some relief, Haralson County. What's that about? And then up into the mountains, okay? But tomorrow, the heat really starts to break down. We'll see more clouds. It'll be about 7-8 degrees cooler. However, what I want to talk about is what's going to happen this weekend. We're going to see a pattern that we usually see in the fall and the winter. It's called a wedge. You guys probably know if you watch us in those months what a wedge is. It's when you have high pressure up in the northeast, wind around high pressure flows clockwise. So you get this wind coming out of Canada. It wedges itself up against the Appalachian Mountains and streams down into Georgia. So you get this abnormally cool air moving down into Georgia. It also comes off of the Atlantic Ocean, so it's usually kind of moist, which means it's usually cloudy and breezy and kind of showery. We're going to see that this weekend. It won't be a complete washout. Usually when you get a wedge in the fall and the winter, it's miserable. It's cold. It's windy. It's nasty. And sometimes they can cause ice storms. In the summer, which it's rare to see them, all it does is really bring us a nice cool down, one that we're not used to this time of year. So you can see the temperature outlook for the beginning of August, which includes this weekend, beginning of next week, as well as most of the kids head back to school. Can you believe it? Abnormally cool for pretty much the entire southeast. Okay, so tomorrow 91, 92, 93 on Friday, but then that cool air starts to work, and I still think we're going to hit the 80s, low mid 80s on Saturday, but that wedge really reaches us Sunday. Y'all, Sunday, highs in the 70s. That is incredible. That's where our lows were this morning. Our low this morning was 79 degrees. It was a record warm low. That's where our high will be on Sunday, okay? Let that settle in. So I want to start you out with temperatures noon on Saturday, not too bad. So noon, it's about to be noon right now. We're sitting at almost 90 degrees. So it'll be 10 degrees cooler Saturday at noon. I still think we're going to see some showers Saturday, and we'll go through that. This is the Euro model, which is definitely warmer than the other long-range model. The GFS has us in the 70s, maybe even the 60s on Saturday. I don't think that's going to pan out. So I still think we're going to be in the 80s on Saturday. The mountains won't make it out of the 70s. But then watch what happens. Sunday afternoon. Wow. Come on. 76 in Atlanta. 71 in Gainesville. That's jacket weather. 68 in Helen. What is happening? That's that wedge of cool air. And I think Sunday, actually, we're going to see a dry afternoon. So if I were you, and I am doing this too, I'm getting outside all day on Sunday, okay? Monday is when most of the school districts, most of Metro Atlanta heads back to school. Can you believe that? We were talking about it, like, why are kids going back so early this year? It must have been the snow days that we had this past winter. Monday, too. Look at these highs as the kids get out of school, upper 70s. Y'all, I've been here doing this 10 years. I have never seen this happen in the month of August, okay? Really incredible. Now, I looked up the record. We're not quite at the record. All right, the record coolest high, or coolest high. Say that 3 times fast. Is 73 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday in 2018, we dipped to 73. We also got 3.6 inches of rain that day. So it was a very rainy day. We're not going to see that much rain on Saturday. So it's going to be 10 degrees warmer than the record warm low. But Sunday, we're pushing it. I mean, some models are going low to mid 70s. So Sunday is the day to get outside, y'all. Okay? Here's the lake forecast. It does look showery. We could still see some thunderstorms on Saturday, especially across West Georgia as that front moves in. I don't expect severe weather, but can't rule out some rumbles of thunder. Sunday does not look like it's going to be stormy. I still think there may be some showers, but it's not going to be a complete washout on Sunday. So honestly, we got to take what we can get, right? This time of year when it's sunny, it's like 95 degrees. So there may be a little bit of rain out there in the morning. I do think Sunday afternoon will be dry, okay? Now, when is our normal last 90-degree day? Normally not for another month and a half, September 9th. Okay, so we're about 6 weeks away from our normal last 90-degree day. I will say the last several years, it's been much later than that. It's been late September. So we could be 2 months away from our last 90-degree day. Last year, it was September 24th. Last year, I remember going to a Georgia game in the beginning of October. It was the Ole Miss game, I believe. And it was 87 degrees outside in Athens. The humidity was so high. I was dripping sweat in the sun in October. And I remember thinking to myself, I thought, Mother Nature, you had me fooled. I thought planning to go to Athens in October, we would get some relief. The next weekend was like way cooler. But really, summer can last into the first week of October here in Georgia, okay? So we got to take what we can get with this nice little break of the heat coming this weekend. So here's your 7-day forecast. Again, this is the last upper 90s I see for the foreseeable future. I didn't even touch on the storms headed our way tonight. We're going to see storms this evening, okay? And that enters us into a stormier pattern through the end of the week. We may end up issuing a first alert weather day tomorrow, depending on the timing of the storms. I don't expect severe weather. The reason that we issued the first alert Friday is for the actual cold front coming through. I think it's going to be pretty stormy when some of the districts, Henry County, Douglas County, Decatur City Schools, going back on Friday. That's our metro Atlanta counties. If you live there, you have kids headed back to school in those areas, you might want to consider picking them up from the bus stop or up from school because it does look pretty stormy right around 3 p.m., okay? And then that cooler air starts to settle in through the weekend. Look at Monday of next week. Chef's kiss, 82 with a 20% chance of rain. So guys, the moral of the story is if you don't like the heat, wait until this weekend. We're going to see a major, major break from the heat. If you do like the heat, then get outside today because it's still going to be hot. And it's going to be hot through the end of the week as well. And I guarantee you those 90s are going to come right back in after the first week of August. So we're not done with summer just yet, but a little taste of some cooler air on the way, which I think I'm going to enjoy because my electric bill this last month, holy cow. Holy cow, is more expensive than it's ever been. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay cool from the heat. Heat advisory is in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. So limit your time outside this afternoon. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Atlanta News First at 6 a.m.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.